Welcome everybody. It's the Two Guys Show. I'm Drew Minnock,
I'm Brad Wade.
and we are coming live together from Brad's house. Last minute change, but we're excited to be here with Augmented Reality 101 tonight, where we're going to be doing showing you some pretty cool things, but also showing you how to create it and how to implement augmented reality in your classroom.
Absolutely. So we have a lot of things that we're going to share tonight. We'll have the beginning of the show is going to be the regular format. We're going to do a little bit of, quick thing about Twitter and then conferences. Then we're going to jump into augmented reality, and we're going to take you through everything with augmented reality tonight. We're going to go over the definition, what it is, what it's all about. We're going to show you how to create it, what apps to use, and then how to integrate it into your classroom. And then we'll also show some applications that already exist that are out there that you've heard us talk before. If you followed us, you know that there's some that we have of our favorites, and we'll share those as well. And then depending on our time, we may show you some pretty sweet stuff that's really cutting edge that some of you can't get your hands on yet, but it's really cool stuff. So yeah, if you saw us on Instagram 15 minutes ago, we were in our classroom, we were at the school working, and then we realized they had shut the mirroring off on our Apple Air. Was not working. So we ran over to my house real quick, so chinery, but we are here, and I think we did pretty good on time. So all right, Drew, so why don't you start us off? What about Twitter? For you, what happened this week on Twitter, or something you want to comment about?
I thought today actually was a kind of a cool day. About a couple hours ago, I think it's the first time I've really participated for the majority of EdChat with Steve Anderson, Kyle Pace, Tom Whitby, and are the mods for that, and just the conversation that was going on in that chat about being a connected educator and kind of what it means, and then getting other unconnected educators to be connected educators, and just kind of how we do that, and just why that's important to be a connected educator. I thought that was a pretty powerful chat tonight.
Absolutely, very cool. And a couple cool things on Twitter this week as well. I woke up to a really cool tweet this morning. Somebody in New Zealand started following me and said, hey, you guys need to come over and present in New Zealand next year. We'd love to have you. So, of course, we would love to get over to New Zealand sometime, and anywhere around the world is wonderful. So, let's make that happen. We love going places and sharing our word. So that's great. The other thing I want to share was this actually, I just saw this morning. Terry Eichholz, a teacher, shared something that was really cool. I love it when people take powerful ideas and then use them, put their own touch on it. Yeah. So Drew saw it as well, and Terry Eichholz, what she did is she took the idea Angela Meyer's You Matter campaign, that whole big movement, which is absolutely awesome. And then she took the augmented reality idea, and this was really cool. So you read the post. What was the cool thing that she did?
So what she did is, a lot of the things that, like one of the things I did the other night for curriculum night is we had the kids create auras welcoming their parents into the classroom. So what she's decided to do is she had the parents create auras saying of why you matter to the students, and she has it tagged to something on their desk. Yep. So we think that's pretty powerful that it's the parents right there telling their child kind of why they matter at school, and the whole You Matter theme kind of goes along with You Are a Marvel.
Yeah.
From the one book on our blog too, and
yep.
And it's just a really powerful and very cool way to integrate it.
Yeah,
having the parents create the videos, it's pretty sweet.
I thought it was great. I'm going to steal the idea, just telling you. I thought it was amazing. I love it. And that's why, like you hear us say, we're just two guys. It's nice because we can connect a lot of people, and we're getting an opportunity to share with a lot of people. But, a lot of the amazing things come from you guys. So we love hearing about those things. Hit us up through Twitter. Share us, send us to your blogs that you write about things that you do that are really cool. That was awesome. I was really pleased to read that, and shout out to Terry Eichholz as well. You can find her, I believe it's at Terry Eichholz on Twitter. If you want to see her, we were chatting a couple hours ago. Check our Twitter feed. You can find her. She's a good follow. Does a lot of cool stuff, so that was wonderful. And then so Drew just talked about his curriculum night, which is open house for us in Michigan. It's called Curriculum Night, and you mentioned those puzzles. And you got good feedback from parents?
Yeah, the parents absolutely loved it. And the cool thing was that we had each student come in, and they had a blank puzzle that they were able to draw a picture of whatever, something that represented them or something they were excited about or whatever.
Right.
And then they filmed each other
Awesome.
actually and
Awesome.
created the auras themselves on the iPads, where I didn't really have to do anything in the studio account or anything like that. And we'll get into the studio account and making them on the device a little bit later, but it was powerful to see them creating the auras themselves.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then the parent feedback, they were pretty blown away when they actually had to put the puzzle together, and all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
You know, there's our child welcoming to curriculum night. It was pretty cool.
Absolutely, a lot of cool things going on. You know, they had to assemble the puzzle, which gave them their trigger. Then the trigger came to life, which was pretty awesome. And then my open house, Drew ended up walking by at the end of this.
I actually had a parent come get me in my room
so
and go, "You got to see Mr. Wade."
It was funny because what I had done is I tweeted out the picture of my table, which had a bunch of augmented reality stuff. And what I did is, you know, I'm usually pretty short on my open house, and you know, I told people, I said, what I have over on the table over here is a lot of augmented reality stuff. I talked about the ed tech that we'd be doing this year, and then touched on augmented reality. But I wanted to close up the curriculum night, and so I did about 7:35. I said it's officially over, everyone. I said, but hey, if anybody wants to stay and play, you can check it out. We'll see what's over there. And so you had a parent come down and tell you to come take a look, huh?
Yeah. So I walk around the corner, and Brad has 25 parents around his table with every single augmented reality target that we have out, or that we own, spread out across the table. And they were just in absolute awe of just the possibilities of it. And you know, obviously they could see our passion. I walk in there like, "You teach 4th grade? Yep, my kid's gonna have you next year." It's like, oh geez.
Yeah, which was really cool because it was funny because a parent, Mike Vidvitsky, hey Mike, shout out to you.
Absolutely.
It was really cool. I saw him standing up on a chair, and I saw him taking pictures. The next thing I know, he's like, "You're gonna love the tweet." So he tweeted out, and I retweet. I sent it out again today. Aaron Kress was asking if how curriculum night went, and so I said, "Oh, did you see the picture that one of my parents tweeted out?" And she said, "No." So I took a screenshot. You know, the cool thing what Michael said was, he said, "Ed Tech conference or curriculum night?" He said, "Both." Tech Brad Wade's at it again. You know, batteries never die, something like that, which was great. So
yeah, his batteries never die. It's kind of fun that you get the parents that excited about it, you know, and if they get that excited about it, you can just imagine what the students are like when we use augmented reality in our classroom, or even when we present at these conferences. I mean,
absolutely.
We don't always have the time to share all of the toys that we have, like these.
Yeah, exactly.
But which a lot of you, if you guys contribute to the Kickstarter campaign, will be getting yours in a couple of months from Daiquiri.
Absolutely.
And we got a lot of other cool things to show you today, but I say let's kind of start. What do you want to start with?
Well, let's kind of give people a foundation what augmented reality is. Let's kind of define it, and then kind of give them some examples where they might start to be able to understand it, because we know, you know, we live in this world. You know, Drew and I teach with augmented reality. We use it. We present on it. We have access to tons of augmented reality devices and everything else, and triggers and targets and whatnot. But you know, we're very lucky in that respect. So we want to kind of start from the ground floor and kind of tell you augmented reality. Here's one way to think about it. And Drew has some great examples. He tells these stories about way to think about it. But I'll tell you. Speaking about augmented reality, what it is like taking a static, we call a static device, something that's not going to do anything more. Like, here's a wood block. Okay, it's got some etchings on it. It's laser engraved. That's great. It's not really going to do anything. You know, a paper, a trigger, a picture. But using the technology of augmented reality, we're able to enhance the experience. We say bring it to life. That's kind of a phrase we use all the time. We talk about taking old lessons and bringing them to life, taking targets and bringing them to life. What it does, it takes something static in the world and then bring it to life. Basically, you can tie it to files, or using 3D modeling or something, you can something can live in a three-dimensional space around you, and you can use your devices and technology to kind of interact with it. It gives the end user an additional experience, which, you know, in return gives you a higher engagement for students and longer time on task. So teachers out there, you know, we're one of the few professions where we will really speak in minutes. All right, 3 more minutes, or, you know, I know if I can get a kid on task, you know, for 7 minutes, that I know I have to really use that time wisely. But if I can make that 7 minutes into 12 minutes or 15 minutes using technology and devices to my advantage, I can do so much more. I can make the learning even deeper. So that's kind of the real world kind of talk about what it is. Drew, why don't you share some of the cool ways you kind of describe it, what people can relate it to?
Well, everyone wants to relate augmented reality to QR codes, and yes, they are similar, but they're not in the same way. Yes, you know, you scan something and something happens, but with the QR code, it has to be to a URL. If it doesn't have a URL, it won't work. With augmented reality, you can bring anything you want to life. And that's one of the powers of it. You don't need a URL. You can just attach videos or pictures or 3D figures, things like that, something without a URL, and bring it to life. It's like a QR code on steroids is how we try to describe it.
Absolutely.
And you think about Hogwarts when they're walking through the castle, and the pictures on the walls are not just pictures. Those pictures are alive, they're interactive, and that's kind of how we want to make some of our lessons is to bring them to life that way. And with augmented reality billboards that we've got set up outside of our classroom, homework assignments, things like a curriculum night, projects like that, but a lot of other cool ways, and that you can use it any way you want. That's the great thing that we love about it, right? Because
absolutely,
our imaginations, we like to think is pretty creative, but our third graders absolutely have wild imaginations and are extremely creative, and so we try and light that fire and let it go and let them create their own augmented reality with Aurasma.
Absolutely, and that's what we're going to go into. That's where we're going to start tonight. We're going to talk about Aurasma. Shout out to them. So what we're going to do is we're kind of show you Aurasma, and Drew's really the expert. I mean, I'm good at it, but really Drew, it's he's the master at it. With the studio account and stuff. When we're going to talk about using the studio account and device versus devices. You can use both, but Drew uses the studio account a lot more than I do. I use devices a little more than he does probably. So we'll give you the pros and cons for both. But let's go ahead and Drew, why don't you just kind of talk about the studio account, what that is, how they can get set up. Is it a hard process? Is it something that's going to overwhelm them?
Yeah.
Is it easy? Kind of just give them the overview on the studio account.
And the great thing about this is if you know us at all, we do not like things that take too much time and are too difficult to figure out because we don't have the time to do it. We're busy trying to create lessons and get things ready for our students. So if it is hard or really complicated to figure out, we don't try to endorse it unless it's that game changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the great thing about making the studio account is it literally takes minutes. You just go to Aurasma.com, apply to be a partner. It'll take you to the studio account, and you fill out a quick, I think it's like your name, your email address, and a password, and that's about it, and you're in. But one of the key things that you need to do as soon as you create that account is email them, and something will pop up asking you to email for a free upgrade. And when you upgrade, it allows you to do way more. If you do not upgrade your studio account, the only thing you can do is add a video over top of things, and that's about it. And you can't make it interactive. So by upgrading, you can make it much more interactive, where you can add URLs. If you look on our AR tutorial page, it goes through how to create the studio account, how to add things to channels, how to create channels, how to make click-through auras, things like that, make it call people, text people, all types of things. And you can be very creative with it in the studio account, and that's one of the differences about it compared to the device is that you can make it do that much more. Right,
there's a lot more options. And just to kind of give you an idea, if you go to our blog, and I assume a lot of you have seen it, but our blog is twoguysomeIPads.com. If you go to the AR Tutorials tab,
right down there.
There it is, right there. The AR Tutorials page, what that is that's a lot of little video segments on how to use Aurasma, the studio account, everything. And if you want to know if it's friendly and if it works, I know some of you have been around trying to use Aurasma for quite a while, and like us, we found that we couldn't quite get all the answers we were really looking forward to. You're trying to get. So we created these tutorials, and like I said, Drew's the master. But we got a tweet last week where I think it was a week or so ago from Aurasma saying that, hey guys, we absolutely love your tutorials. We're going to put them on our support page. So they think they're good enough to go up on there, and I'll kind of give Kyle Pace a shout out because he had this idea, and just the other day he direct messaged me and said, hey, we're taking a look at Aurasma. What would you suggest? We're trying to get started. I said, hey, take a look at our AR tutorials page. There's a lot of little video segments on Aurasma, and within a few minutes he's like, hey, they were great, thanks, we're on our way. So we're going to show you some things tonight, but just know you can go to the blog and get some really good information at your own pace and your own time that you can get there, and it'll work for you.
Exactly. So that's one of the big things with the studio account is you can add things to channels, and so that people outside of your classroom can follow your channel just by searching it in the app and then view any of the auras that you create with the studio account. But what is the main question that we get? The main question that we get when it comes to Aurasma is, I've created something on the device, why can no one see it? Or,
right.
You know, or I've created something in the studio account, or why can I not add it to a channel from my device? Things like that. It seems to be the same question that we constantly get, don't you think?
That's the biggest question. That's the most specific question. Is if I do it on my studio account and then I do it on my device, why aren't they tied together?
Well, we've asked the same question ever since we discovered it, and we've talked to them. I've had dinner with one of the guys from Aurasma trying to get it fixed, and he said that he's in the process. You know, he's put in the ticket to get it fixed, something like that. But if many of you guys know that there was an Aurasma update the other day. The app was updated. I don't really know what you're doing right now.
Volume. We're here. People are hearing our phones go crazy. Thanks, Todd.
So that's one of the main things is that there was an app upgrade the other day, and they kind of made it to where it really isn't device specific anymore, which is really pretty huge.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and that's one of the things that actually I was talking to Tech Ninja Todd Nasloni. I was doing a Google Hangout with him, going through Donors Choose and just kind of like how that whole process, talking about 3-ring, we were talking about Aurasma. And I look at my device and I'm like, oh my gosh, the auras that were created on a different iPad in my classroom are on this iPad. And so it just kind of like hit me like, how could that be, you know? Because they're so device specific, so it didn't work. So now I'm sitting here with Todd and we're creating auras right there to see if it would work.
Right.
And so I had him log into my account on his phone, and he could view all the auras that were on my device, or were created on my device.
That's a big update.
But so that is a huge, huge update for teachers who get so upset about this, about creating auras and having them be on the device only, and nobody else can view them.
Right.
They can view them if you are all logged into the same account.
Yeah.
So if you make a classroom account, and like if you have one-to-one iPads or things like that, if they log into a class account and create on their iPad, then you can view any of the auras created on any of the iPads. They're not device specific.
Right, which they used to be just device specific. So I had to go through a whole coding system for my iPads in my classroom with colored stars and stuff. And then I would also, use the same code for things that were triggers. So we knew, like when I had student ones created videos to make auras out of their student work, their writing pieces, and their language arts pieces, and anything creative that they worked on. Now I don't have to quite do it to that extent because you can view them on all the devices, which is absolutely fantastic. So
exactly, and that's really important if you are creating those things around your classroom or even around your school. If you have a school account, things like that, where you can add the auras. If you all have the same account or log into the same account, then you're fine. Yep. And you can view the auras created just on that account. It's not still completely synced with the studio account that we know of yet, but the ability to not have it device specific anymore is really important, especially to us it is anyway.
Yeah,
that's key.
It is.
I was running around the school trying to find this guy the other day because I was so excited.
He's like, I just called you. I'm like, well, I was right here.
But
my phone was in my pocket.
So I finally found him and shared my excitement about it, but we're pretty excited about the ability to create these things all around our school now with one single account and not have it be on a channel, nothing like that. It's just if you're logged in the account, you can view it and share it.
Yeah, which is
awesome.
That is really awesome because we've been doing a lot of cool things, and now it's just like you guys, we get excited about all this stuff, and we're even ready to push the envelope even more, and it's a great time. And we talked with the Aurasma, said, look, if you could just kind of open some of the stuff up. Here's the thing: they didn't realize educators are going to be such a big population of early adopters. But the thing is we did. Educators are awesome. We're always looking for great ways to capture our students, really hook them and get them engaged on the things. So that was really awesome. And then now that this has happened with not being just device specific anymore, we can do even more. And it's just going to, a lot of you. I mean, we've seen emails from you guys. We've seen comments on our posts. We've had friends of ours send emails that they got to us about why can't I do this and X, Y, and Z. Well, I know last week you guys heard this. There's a lot of shout outs from Twitter after the show last week, and I was really honored by that. so many people tweeting out Erasmus, hey, help these educators out. You know, they're doing great things, and you know, like we just, you know, you guys all have a voice, we have a voice, and we're trying to just continue to get things worked on and improved so we can continue, you know, working with our kids the best we can and get them engaged and build.
So I would say the next goal is to get those 2 accounts in.
Yeah, it's
so
close.
Stay on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Keeping loud about it and keep voicing that opinion on how we want those accounts synced so that we can make it even better for our students and how we create this and bring learning to life.
Absolutely. So, all right. All right. So Drew, let's, now that we kind of talked about Erasmus, what are some of the ways that we've used it in our classrooms, and what are some ways that we've heard a lot of? I mean, we have a whole section on our blog about meaningful integration of augmented reality in the classroom, and not only in the classroom but also in education, because we've got principals, we've got superintendents, we've got school districts, we've got classrooms. So you know what, it's not just to the classroom. We've got media specialists. Hi Shannon, I know you're out there. I saw you tweet us out. That was great. Nice to have you as well. And we were talking with our media specialist today, and she has some amazing ideas. She was just asking about the iPads. Yeah. She's got some really cool stuff that she's going to do with all the 3rd and 4th graders in the media center. So it's not just classroom. It's, you know, classroom. It's media center. It's in the whole building. It's administration, not only at the building level but at the district level and stuff. And you know what? In a few minutes, we're going to start showing you a lot of these pieces and a lot of things that we've done, and we're going to also share a lot of things that we've heard from people all over the world doing awesome things. So, Drew, what do you want to start on? What's something you want to?
Let's start with some things that we can actually show in the classroom. Right. And I know some people have heard of this, and it's on our triggers page as well.
Which one?
On homework. Yep. And this is one way to extend the lesson outside of the classroom for the students that struggle with certain things. Okay, our math curriculum is everyday math. It's a very language-based, it's a wordy math program. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times the kids, they struggle with that vocabulary sometimes in the lessons, so they need that, you know, that refresher at home and that reminder on how to do things, you know. And it's a struggle for the parents too, because, you know, the kids, when they go to ask their parents, the language is very different from when they learned it in elementary school, these concepts. It's different than when I learned it, and it's certainly different than when Brad learned it.
Yeah, exactly.
Back there in stone and chiseling things in stone.
He thinks I'm older than him for some reason.
He is a lot older. Anyway, so that is one of the things that this allows you to do, is you make a quick tutorial, and that's one of the things you don't want. I had a parent ask me about that the other day, is, you know, do we really want a 15-minute mini lesson? I was like, no, it's not a 15-minute mini lesson. That's what it is.
90 seconds.
90 seconds, 2 minutes max.
Yep.
And I create these in the studio account because, and this is the one thing that you can do in the studio account that you cannot do in the app when you create them, is what you can do is make it go full screen. So as soon as it triggers, the aura goes full screen and you don't need the trigger anymore. And so for our 3rd graders last year and the 4th graders this year, now what happens is they don't have to sit there and they hold the iPad for a minute and 2 minutes over the trigger the whole entire time to get the mini lesson. All they have to do is trigger it, and then they're done. And they can just kind of experience it from there.
And let me tag on that. What you just said is, and I want to make sure we reiterate this. If you've used Erasmus and you've done it on your device, on your phone, your mini, your regular iPad, or whatever, you know, you have a target and then you play, let's say you're just doing a video. You play it over top, and you know what? You see the video, but you also see, like, around it. You can see, like, you know, through the camera device. What Drew just said is, by using the studio account, and this is wonderful, you can make it go basically attached to the device. It's not just living in space. You can attach to the device. You can pull it away, and then you can watch it. Mm-hmm. You know, if you've seen some of our iMovie trailers, like if you go to our triggers page, you can see the difference. It goes boom right to the device, and that's what we're saying in the studio account. You can create that, and that's what you want to do when it's, you know, if you're doing something on homework. Now, look, if you're tied to just the device, boom, just use it, because that's what you have to do. But if you have a moment, the studio account will give you that option, and having a student at home using it like that, it really is going to make it better on their end. The experience is going to be even better, because they won't have to sit there and hold it. They can just kind of look at it, set it back down, get the tutorial, and then advance in their learning.
Absolutely. So we're going to cut away from us for a second.
Sorry.
We're going to screen share so you guys can kind of see just kind of how we're using this. So make sure that this is mirroring so you guys can all see it.
I don't think they can see it.
Thanks.
There it is.
They still can't see it.
They can't see that? That's my tablecloth. It's really nice. It is. It is. I don't know if you can see me there.
Okay.
See? That's nice.
So what it is that we have our regular homework here, and hopefully the mirroring will start picking up here in just a second.
I hope so.
It's a little bit delayed.
Is there a delay?
Okay, so what it is I have my homework assignment, and all the kids have to do is hold it up over the homework assignment.
There's the big famous purple swirl. And I turned his sound up because it was going crazy. But there's actually a narration.
Remember our trick for multiplying and dividing
there it is,
large
where it is
numbers.
me giving them
Make
a
the number
short mini
smaller
lesson.
by
So all you
covering
have
up
to do is
the
take a
zeros.
picture of it,
And number one,
and it
we
looks
have
like
to
you're
figure
actually
out
drawing right on their
times
table,
what
on the
number
homework assignment
is
in front
going
of
to
them.
equal
So it really turns the
1,000.
homework into magic.
600.
It allows
So
them
that's
to
what we write
bring
first.
them
8
home with you for 2
times
minutes.
what number is going to
Yeah,
equal
and think about
1,000.
that. That is really awesome to have, you know, like, I know, Drew, you had a student last year that really struggled with math. Not only, I mean, she could do math, but you know what? She wasn't the most confident with math, and so like if something happened, she hit that wall real quick, and then she got frustrated, and then she shut down. What did using this? How did this benefit her? I've heard the story, so why don't you share that with everybody?
She got really frustrated with if she had a hard time with it, and then she, it caused an argument with her and her parents on kind of, because her parents weren't using the same vocabulary like we talked about earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and that vocabulary part is really important in this curriculum, in this program. So having the ability to take me home with them, getting that same exact vocabulary that we used in class, it allowed her to not get as frustrated with the homework and to get a lot more out of it and to feel more comfortable and confident with it. And it kind of took that battle away. It actually totally took that battle away with her parents at home, and her parents were extremely grateful about that. But once we started doing this, we saw homework come back more often.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing better on their homework, and in exchange, the test scores went up because every time they took this paper home, just a simple, a worksheet, which we all dread worksheets anyway because they're boring, but now it doesn't make it as boring. It brings it to life. It makes the learning deeper and engaging, and it takes us outside the classroom.
And that's just it, and like I know there's from early adopters, a lot of people in the ed tech movement. A lot of this is like using technology to really not only engage students, but to think smarter and work smarter and make the learning deeper. What if you could make multiples of yourself? I mean, I know Kevin Honeycutt talks about this a lot. He talks about recording every lesson and then just sharing it out. Well, this is kind of what we're doing. Drew doesn't go home with every kid. That'd be a little weird. But here's the thing: is now that parents, it would be hard. But now, just with the technology that we have access to, this. It's free. We can use this. So the thing is we have to get comfortable with it, and we just have to experiment with it. And I'll tell you, we had one of our fellow teachers do something for the first time today, Heather Hoisington.
Yes.
And the cool
I wish
thing
I
is,
had it to share with you guys because it was really cool.
It was really cool. And so what she did is she teaches in her deaf and hard of hearing program. So she's a hearing teacher, but she can speak sign language, and she works with deaf and hard of hearing students. She took her spelling words this week. And the cool thing is she used it as a trigger, like we've talked about, and then she did her own video. She tied a video to it of her signing, using sign language for every word. You should have seen how happy she was. And it was the first time she tried it. So I was talking to her tonight. I know she came down and she showed Drew and talked to Drew about it.
Very giddy because it took a couple different tries, but she got it, and it was awesome. And I know that when her students take that home, it's not only for her students, so that's what people understand
is really cool.
Is that she's saying the word, but she's also signing it. But so it's teaching that student how to sign that word and spelling word, but it's also teaching the parents sign language.
Right.
The other kids can use it in class, so they're learning sign language for those certain vocabulary words as well. So it's not just for the DHH students in her classroom, but any of the students that want to see that aura over their spelling words are able to now because she created that aura for DHH student, which is super powerful.
Which is awesome. And I was talking to her tonight, and it's like, once you do one, I said, I bet your mind's, oh my God, my mind's going crazy already. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Just think about this simple little transition. She had her spelling words, and it was just on a paper trigger. What if she put that up on the bulletin board? Now anybody can access. I mean, teachers and students in the hearing program, doesn't matter, could go by and just kind of, see, I want to learn what those words are in sign language. You could learn them. If I wanted to pick up pieces of sign language, I could just go right by and I could just use my device and I could learn that. So I mean, all of a sudden now, not only the learning is in her classroom, now it's outside of her classroom, and she's reaching more of a population than she originally intended. And that's the power. We talk to a lot of teachers all over the world about creating these augmented reality bulletin boards. And I have one in my room, but I put some on my glass on the outside because I don't have a bulletin board out in the hallway. Drew has made an awesome augmented reality board on the outside. Thing is now you start getting people who aren't even in your class, students that aren't in your class, teachers, administrators, district administrators who come in. We've had visits from all the district administrators from the district coming in and visit our classrooms and popping in all the buildings and stuff and checking on the technology. It's just been wonderful. So that was just another great story on how another teacher implemented the technology.
Absolutely, and we're going to try and I'll make sure I talk to Heather tomorrow. We'll get a video of the aura she created for the DHH students and we'll try and get that up on our blog so you can just kind of see how she did it and what it kind of looked like. It was pretty cool.
It was cool. I was glad to see it.
It was very cool.
Should we show this one?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. So, there's a lot. I hope if you haven't heard of Color AR, it's Color AR Mix on the App Store. It is one of the hottest, in my opinion. Being in the industry, it's one of the hottest buzzes right now in augmented reality. It's a company out of New Zealand. What they've done is they create coloring book pages, and what they've done is they've augmented them. And there are so many cool things about it. And if you've seen our post on our blog, and Drew, outside of AR tutorials, which that's always going to be a popular post, because everybody goes there. We both, Drew and I, independently.
Well, not even knowing the other person was doing it, that was the cool thing.
This was wild because Drew, we were talking on the phone the other night, and Drew's like, "Hey, I got a post going out tomorrow." I said, "Oh yeah, what's that?" He goes, use an augmented reality inspired creative writing. I'm like, he goes, "Yeah." I said, "I did that today." He goes, "Really?" He goes, "I did too." So what we did is and it was funny because we had slightly different approaches, but it was really cool. What we did is we used the power of this augmented reality app of Color AR, and we used it to inspire creative writing with our students. I teach third, he teaches fourth. And Drew, were your kids just on fire? We're going to go through what we did, but was it just amazing?
The cool thing about it was that we really tried to change the way that our classrooms are set up, because in the past they're so used to going into classrooms and not really having choice. So what we did is there's 11 of these now. I think I had 11 of them. You didn't have as many out, right?
Right. I chose 3. So I chose 3 different themes.
Yep. So I had all 11 out, and I said, pick any one you want. I don't care.
That's what I said.
It's up to you. You have a choice. You have to be creative, and you got to have fun, and that is it. They want to know all the questions that they always ask because that's what they want to know. How long does it have to be? I go, I don't even care how long it is. I want you to be creative.
Right.
I want you to take this coloring sheet. I want you to color it. You can't color darker on the outside edges because it won't work. But they don't know. I never showed them that it came to life first.
Right, and I did not either.
So what we did is had them color it, had them create a story behind it, and then we brought it to life.
That's how he did it. Mine was a little different. So tell yours.
So the whole thing about that was that they're so excited, one, just to have a choice in what kind of prompt or whatever sheet they got to color, and then you use that to not have a limit. They could color, or they could write as much as they want, as little as they want, as long as they're creative and they create a story behind it. And it was some of the best writing experiences that I've had as a teacher because they wanted to write more. They were so excited to share. And then when we brought it to life, oh my gosh, they wanted to write more, add to their stories, add new details to their stories. They wanted to share with everybody in the classroom. They wanted to share it at home. Can we download this app at home and share it with our parents? It's like, absolutely, and just that getting them excited about writing. Was the whole, was the only purpose behind it because, we said in the post, that was a struggle for me. It's a struggle sometimes to get these kids excited about writing and writing for a long period of time, but
because we're asking a lot of these 3rd and 4th graders, and I did mine a little slightly different. What I did is I had 3 pictures out, and I told them, I said, take a picture, color it. I want to, take your time. You have the time that it's going to take, make it look nice. And then what I did is once all of them were done, we went up on the carpet, and that's when we brought them to life. And then I said, now go back and write the story that goes with your picture. Oh my gosh, I had to stop them right. It was time to leave. We had to go to music, and it was like, all right. And this is a testament to teaching. All of you've seen this and heard this. When kids like, when it's time to quit, usually it's like, recess or something or a party or something. But this was writing. So when they're like, and they wanted to write more, that was just absolutely fantastic. So Drew, why don't you say we bring one of these to life so we can kind of
we can do that.
Let's do that. This was you'll see it mirroring. This is just a coloring page right here. It's a dragon. It's pretty cool. And let's take a look at it. Andrea says we have a nice tablecloth. Thank you, Andrea.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Again, I don't know how much of a lag there is, so you might get the tablecloth again here shortly.
And if you were with us at Galileo, there's a lag. If anybody was at Galileo Learning Summit, there's a lag. Inside joke. Every time Drew and I present, there's always something. And if you see us, we hope everybody gets to see us in person sometime. We love it. It's some of the things we just absolutely enjoy doing is presenting together. And we have such a good time. We play off each other real well, and it's just a blast. So we'll see. Here it comes.
There we go.
And the volume's on. All right, so here we go. This is a dragon. And you notice the kid colored it. There's a lag. The kids colored it. It was plain white, but now this is using colored pencil. There's red and orange and you name it.
And it's not going to a trigger. That is one of the key things that we find with augmented reality is that we always find that it works perfectly until we go to show it to somebody, and then for some reason it won't work.
Oh, and my mini's just dead.
And as many as you know that who have used these color AR sheets, why don't you grab a different one, see if that one works.
Oh yeah, here. Try this one.
We'll bring the doll, Brad's favorite one.
Yeah, actually I colored one. I colored one for Brenna.
So as you can see, and then it brings the doll to life, and then at the top you can have the age and name, and then you can.
So there she are. So I had a bunch of the girls create this. So when they're talking about, she got her a new room and she got some furniture and she was decorating her room and stuff like that. So you can see, and she dances, and there's a little bubble above her head. She can say hi and check some cool stuff out.
So that's one of those ones that you can do. Here's another one. This one's really cool, I think.
Yeah, and finally, I think Craig shared with us how we can color the bear.
Yes, because if you see in the basket is the bear.
If you notice, I'm going to point out something. You notice below it's like Google Earth right there. And one of the cool things that my kids really enjoyed there is you see it changes scenes. Now, we all know that you can do story starters. I've done story starters in my room for 14 years. A day at the beach, in the city, you go to the desert, you're in the forest, using a different landscape or climate to write a story. Well, check this out. We got this little bear in the basket, a hot air balloon. Look at that. So, you can see, now it's pretty interesting because underneath, there's a desert and there's a forest and there's an ocean. So the stories that the kids were writing were really cool, about this bear's adventure in the hot air balloon. So, you know what? The cool thing about this is it really engaged the kids.
Absolutely.
And, being teachers, Drew and I, our platform it's got to be awesome. Okay, and it's got to be beneficial, and people, if you've been with us a while, one of our things is we don't talk about 100 apps because we're never going to get through them all. You tell us the best of the best and then why they're the best, and then we'll check them out. So what we've been doing for a while is just trying to find the best of the best. We get messages from companies, all the time. They want us to check things out, and we're happy to take a look at them. And if they're really awesome, then that's when we start speaking about them and just sharing them, because anything we talk about, we try in our own rooms, and we can speak with a true testimonial because we see how it transforms our classroom and it really engages the kids.
So some other things is we've talked a little bit about how we can use this in our classroom, how we kind of try and take learning to another level with it,
right, with
augmented reality, but it doesn't just have to be in your classroom that you use these things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the examples that our librarian, Shelly Lazarus, was talking about too, is having the kids create auras so there's a tour around the library.
Yeah,
so
which is really cool.
The kids are confused about something, or they want to know where something is, or directions, or help on something. There's a tour around the library with different triggers around it that will help the kids find different books or with directions, things like that.
Yeah, which was a great idea.
Which is the same thing you can do for school tours. We have our fine arts wing where you can create an aura that talks all about the fine arts in our school. We have a garden out there for it's one of our initiatives is sustainability and stuff like that. And you know, just the tours of the garden. I know there was a school down in Texas
that
was
did
the first
that.
one that did that.
Yeah,
they augmented their garden.
Yep. And what they did is they had little pictures on their signpost, you know, like sunflowers, and they just augmented it, just like what you've been seeing us do. But here's some more ideas in the building. If you're working as a building administration, or somebody in the media center or the librarian. You know, a lot of you have author visits or scholastic book fairs and stuff like that. Augment the posters. I believe it was Brian. I'm going to blank his name right now, but he, an author came.
Brian Chick.
Yeah.
The Secret Zoo.
The Secret Zoo. It was really cool. He came and visited us last year, and the cool thing is we were getting on board with augmented reality, and had a chance to speak with him real quick, and said, "Hey, Brian, you ever heard of this?" He's like, "No, I never heard of that." And so the cool thing is I said, "Hey, all right, let me show you." I said, and Kelly McCall can attest to this. I said, "I need 2 minutes, and I can show you." And Drew and I we've been on the soapbox, and we've been called to task on this. I said, "I need 2 minutes. Let me show you this." So I said, just talking to the camera, I said, "Hey, you know, say something about, hey, Eastover, thanks for your visit." So I took like a little 7-8 second video, and then I said, "Give me one of your books." And he got one of his books, tagged the cover of the book, tied to the video, and in less than 2 minutes from start to finish, just using my device, I showed that to him. So you know, you can, you know, bring posters to life. You know, if you got an author coming in, or you have, like I said, a scholastic book fair, anything. Now think about that. I just said augment an author visit. Think about anything you do in the school. If you put up a poster, I know, like, if you're like our school or anything, you put them on the windows on the front door, you put them outside the office, whatever. Anything. If you have an event, maybe it's a sports team or a club, maybe it's a Lego robotics club or something. Yearbook. So many great ideas. If it's something you can look at, a picture, a poster, something, you can use that as your trigger, wouldn't you say, Drew? And then tie it to
Absolutely,
anything.
You can. And so that's what we did. We kind of stole the idea from Erasmus themselves, as they created a campaign for NBC to kind of highlight their shows, the different genres of shows that they have on the NBC network. So we took that idea and created a poster
This was awesome.
to kind of highlight the schools in our district. So this is kind of a way that, you know, central administration can also use this. So this is just a very small scale of the poster, but you see, we have our Bloomfield Hills logo right here in the middle, which has a trigger on it talking about technology and things like that. Then each one of these pictures of the school have a different trigger with a highlight reel of that specific school, highlighting the things that are important and are, you know, great about each school here. And then it also has click-throughs, so you just touch one corner, you can call the office. You touch the other corner, you can call central office for, you know, you got questions, you want to enroll your child, things like that. Because we all know that, you know, school of choice is very, very big, and, you know, we want kids coming to our school, and what better way to attract kids and than to showcase some of the things that no other school, a lot of schools are not doing anyway.
Right.
You can hang that thing at Kroger, you can hang it anywhere.
Oh, yeah,
Life.
absolutely. And think about this. If you're an administrator, you know what? I know administrators have busy schedules, and, you know, I know you love being in the buildings. That's where you want to be. But reality says you got to go out to meetings. You got to go to district things and stuff like that. And, you know, wouldn't it be great if you could kind of, you know, give a little message to every family that comes in that's new? One thing I talked to an administrator in our district about was, you know, kind of a welcome little video. Like, you know, if you're the administrator of your building, you've got a little, you know, little headshot of yourself as they come in.
We did that. We actually went to our principal, didn't we?
We did.
I need
she was so nervous.
A 2-minute video. I'm not going to tell you what it's for, because this is before we really even told her about Erasmus or anything like that.
Yeah, this was a while ago.
I'm not going to tell you what it's for. She's like, this better not end up on YouTube.
Right, and I don't know, it might have, but so what we did is we tied it to where, like, it was a little welcome to Eastover, our school. And the thing is any administrator or even a teacher could do that and just put it on, you know, welcome to my French class. I'm teaching French 3 this year. I'm really excited about working with the students. And then just think about it. Once you, and I know Ashley Smith just said this, after she did her first Erasmus project, she just went crazy on it. And I see that we got Katie Ann's she just tweeted this. She's going to be using the shoe, the Color AR shoe, to stand up to bullying.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Isn't that great?
Idea.
I love that. So keep the great ideas coming. And we also did a cool project last Friday for Dot Day, didn't we, Drew?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people that got on board with Color AR for Dot Day. And we had 60 plus kids in my classroom with over 20 iPads going, didn't we?
Yeah,
And the cool thing is your kids knew about it.
Right.
But the other third grade class that had joined us did not know about it coming to life or the augmented reality about it. So our kids kind of went around and helped them, and they were able to share their creations and how to be creative for Doc Day and things like that. So that was a pretty cool experience.
That was a really cool experience. I mean, I know at the end of the day you did a Google Hangout with a friend of ours, and actually I saw something, I saw what Todd had talked about was really cool. He put up all their Dot Day pictures. He has 3 classes, 25 kids, about 75 kids, and I saw the picture. He put up his Dot Day pictures all over his wall and stuff, and they were all augmented. I think it was the kids explaining what they did for that picture or something like that, which was really cool. And like we said, once you try it, your mind, you may dream about it for a couple nights, because I've dreamt about plenty, which is kind of sad, but it's actually really awesome because there's a lot of great things that you can do with augmented reality. And
we have a question out there. What is a trigger? A trigger is like
good
the
question.
image. Okay, so this is a trigger image. So when you scan this, it triggers the augmented reality to happen, or whatever you put over it. So it can trigger to go to a website. It can trigger, that a video plays. It can trigger 3D animations. It can trigger calling people, texting people, add things to calendars, things like that. So each image is a trigger image, kind of like the QR code, but on steroids.
Yeah. A couple things. Katie Ann asked, how do I get the hot air balloon page? So if you originally got Color AR a while ago, there's been an update. So don't ignore that icon, right, Drew?
Oh, pet peeve of mine. You have app updates, update your app.
Yeah, yeah, because it's taken me a while, but Drew's got me in line now, so I don't know.
That's the greatest thing about iOS 7 is they just update for you, so I cannot wait for Brad to get it tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So also, let's see, what else? Let's see. Can somebody tweet out the link for this broadcast right now? Craig does not have it.
Craig does have it now. He's good to go.
He's got it. Okay, Drew's a little farther ahead than I am.
That's the story of our relationship here, guys. If you guys don't know that, I'm much farther ahead than he is.
Well, you know what? I'm seasoned. I'm a lot smarter. And just kidding. Well, we found out at Podstock apparently I was a little more athletic when it came to throwing things. Mike Lamb was saying, he says, look, watching the Color AR makes him want to break out the crayons. That is awesome.
Well, I got a funny story to go with that, because I was doing a Google Hangout with Aaron Klein. It was like Saturday night at like 11 o'clock, and literally she's giving me grief because here I am with the markers and the crayons.
That's right.
Coloring Color AR pages when they first came out.
Yeah, and
they're that cool.
And it was funny because Todd did the same thing, and I give Drew credit. He was the first one. I mean, he got him. He was sharing them out. We're all seeing pictures and texting everything out. And it was like, Todd's like, you better work on your coloring skills. Like, come on, man. I'm just trying to get this together.
Isn't that true?
I can't believe what I'm seeing. The pictures are coming to life. What a great way to get pictures, kids inspired. Tamara Dollar talking about that. A lot of great stuff on Twitter. So keep it coming, guys. We're watching the feed as best we can. We have some more cool stuff to share, so continue hanging with us. All right, Drew. So
let's go to flashcards.
Flashcards. All right, Michelin Media. I know.
These guys are really creating a lot of awesome stuff.
They are really cool stuff.
This is their first AR app. It's AR flashcards. It's free. If you go to our blog, right on the homepage, there's like a little link that it has their logo. You can click on it. It'll take you right where to download it for free.
Highly recommended.
Print these out. Cut around right where they say to cut. Otherwise, they won't work as well.
But Drew, these are just flashcards. What's the?
And flashcards are what?
They're
boring.
What's the big deal about flashcards? So I'm a kindergarten teacher. I teach 5-year-olds, and I got little Timmy that doesn't like to sit down, and I've got to sit with them looking over black and white, or maybe even colored flashcards. What's the big deal now? What are these going to do for me? I mean, what can I do now, and why is it something that's going to engage students?
It's one of the things about it is just like we've talked about for a lot of the other things, is that it brings learning to life. It engages kids. It's magic, right?
It is absolutely
awesome. So that's what
awesome.
This does, is that it brings these flashcards to life. And again, we have seen the engagement level with our kindergartners through the roof with some of them. I mean, they just love this stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and go.
All right,
flashcards here.
Yeah, and this is cool, and I'll keep feeding you, Drew.
Okay,
I'll keep feeding this. Michelin Media, they're out of St. Louis, I believe. Becoming pretty good friends of ours. We chat a lot, and it's cool to
Hopefully we'll get the volume going here so when we touch the horse.
H, horse.
H for horse.
J, jellyfish.
And you can do more than one, just
You
to
can.
kind of showcase a little bit.
There's a lag.
G, gorilla.
Yeah, so I mean, you get each one has an awesome 3D figure over top of it, and it really the kids are totally engaged in learning their letter recognition.
Yeah, so the thing is like we talked about, when you're talking about the 3D modeling in space, this is considered a 3D model. It lives in space. You're not pinching and zooming. If you want to get closer, you get closer. You want to go around it, you go around it. I know Matt Gomez, another excellent connected educator out there. He's a kindergarten teacher. He uses these. He's written some great posts on them. He's another great person to follow, especially if you're working with lower L.
He is the person to follow if you're working with lower
absolutely.
L. No
he
questions asked.
does a lot of great stuff, and so that's very cool. All right, so and they have some other stuff they're working on as well.
Yeah,
right?
it should be out this week, actually. I'm waiting any day to get an email or a text or something from these guys saying that it's out.
Straight to us.
So they're working on a space app, AR Flashcard Space, I believe it's called. And they've got some really cool markers, and the planets look pretty cool too. To where this is it's an early childhood lower L app with the flashcards similar to the AR flashcards, but you'll have a trigger for each planet, and then you also have a trigger for the whole solar system. So I know they've tweeted out a couple of beta pictures and some previews and stuff like that. So definitely going to be looking for those coming this week. So they should be in the App Store any minute. Obviously, the App Store's a little behind probably with iOS 7. Everyone's submitting updates and things like that. So that's pretty exciting that they have another app coming out. We're really excited to check that out and to get our students just excited about the planets at an early age in the solar system, things like that.
All right, so Drew, now we've talked about some elementary, we've talked about early childhood.
Yes,
let's talk about something that you could really use, upper elementary, middle school, high school. What's NASA got going on? They have some pretty cool stuff. What have we seen from NASA?
Sweet stuff going on. NASA's awesome to begin with, but I mean, what they do is they've recently updated this app as well and added more spacecraft. So you can download it. It's free. Spacecraft 3D. And all you need is a marker. There's two different size markers. There's one for an iPhone or an iPod Touch or something like that.
Here's for the iPhone.
And then there's a larger one for the iPad.
Yeah.
Because the size of the trigger image depends on how big the trigger is going to be, or the overlay.
Yeah, so if you're using the small marker, this Mars rover or whatever space vehicle is going to be smaller. And the funny thing is, I actually blew this up real big in the beginning. Well, next thing I know, I had like a full life-size vehicle, which was kind of cool, but it was hard to manage in space. So what this is called Spacecraft 3D. It's by NASA. It's actually been around for a while, and they just keep making it better and better. You can see Drew is scrolling down all of the vehicles now that you can take a look at, all the spacecraft.
I think the Mars Exploration Rover might be a new one here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
check this out.
I haven't seen it. I've only seen Curiosity. I mean, I've seen just about everything, but this is a new one. You're seeing it? Sweet. Live with us. This is brand new, guys. This is a scoop right here.
So then you go down here, you can make it.
Oh, wait. We got a lag. Hold on. There we go.
That is pretty sweet.
Look at this. So what he's doing is he's using the buttons on the bottom. Oh, it's opening up. Check that out. So what happened, obviously this is from NASA, so it's going to be an exact model of what's on Mars right now. And so the cool thing is you see how it was deployed when it arrived, and then how the engineers had to, using a device kind of like ours, had to open it up to get it to explore the surface. Boy, I love when you can manipulate these arms and telescopes and the wheels.
So do I pinch and zoom when it comes to augmented reality and these things? I know we talked about it a little bit, but
that's a great question. No, when we're looking at a 3D model in space, it's not pinching and zooming. If he wants to get closer, he can just go in and get closer. He can bring his device closer, and if he wants to get away, he backs. He's bringing it in now. He's taking a look at the wheel mounts right here that he's looking at. And if you the cool thing is we've done this in both of our classes. When you use one target, and I have multiple devices, a good example is this app right here. I can put one target on my big work table, and I can have 10 iPads around. Well, the cool thing is Johnny can be looking at Mars rover Curiosity. Nolan could be looking at Voyager. They can be looking at Voyager 2. They could be looking at Dawn or Juno and different vehicles at the same time. Which one is this, Drew? Is this Voyager?
Yep, this is Voyager.
Voyager now has exited, I believe, the solar system. It was launched in 1976 or 1977. It is the fastest thing that man has ever created.
Really?
It is. That is true. It is now accelerated faster than anything we've ever created. And
Look at that. There we go. You hit the information button. It gives you different information.
Look at
very
that.
Specific to each spacecraft.
Excellent. So this is, an excellent app, highly recommended. And again, you can do different things with it. If you teach it, upper L, middle school, or high school, I'm sure there's a great way you can incorporate this. And as you can tell, what we're doing now is we're trying to show you different applications that already exist that are using the technology that you can implement into your classroom in an appropriate way, a way that works for you.
Absolutely.
All
and
right.
so while we're hitting on the space theme here, what we could do is we can kind of go in and kind of give you a brief look at ours.
Yep, got it right here.
We have an augmented reality app that some of you guys have seen. If you were at ISSE, you got to see it, or if you've seen us present, you kind of see it. And again, like the NASA one, there's only one target. It doesn't matter which planet that you want to see. There's only one target.
Yeah, and
and we'll go ahead and bring that up here.
Yeah, this was. Go ahead.
It's very close. It's very close. I know a lot of people have been telling us they really want to see it and things like that. And believe me, it is close. It is getting there, and we're hoping, fingers crossed, everybody, cross your fingers for us.
Yeah, cross for us.
But this is out very soon. So when it pops up, this is an update for you.
I want to go to your school.
You can see the solar system here, and it's slowly rotating. And then whatever one you touch, planet you touch, it will zoom around.
So here it comes. It's going to zoom up to Jupiter.
And you can see it. Now there's a button in the middle where it says you can explore more, so I just touch that. And there's a more info button where you can just get some information about it. Or I can go to AR Viewer, Augmented Reality Viewer.
There we go.
So that's when it loads. You use the trigger image. In this case, and boom, there it is on our table.
Now we've got Jupiter right here on our table, in our hands. Drew, now what is there? Can I look inside? Can I get any more information about it? Is there anything else I can do here?
Here we go. More info. You get close. You open it up. Now when I hit more info, as you can see, there.
So what you're seeing is he hit the look inside, and now what you can see where it's pointing to on the. Oh, you can see in there where it's pointing to on the planet right there. It's giving you more information about the interior, what we know about the interior right now.
So what happens when I hit more info again? I just got to switch over here. It goes to the blue part here, inside of the planet here.
See, so now it's...
So this is about the hydrogen, the helium gases that they believe are inside of Jupiter.
Right there.
Okay, and now I hit it one more time, and it goes to the core. Little talking about, there's not a lot known about it, and things like that.
But what a great experience. And we have another thing that we're going to show in a few minutes, but think about this. We're learning about the planets. We have pictures in books. We have, great teachers and educators who can talk about what they know. We can watch Bill Nye. We can watch videos on NASA. That's great. All good stuff. And we can still do that now, but now we can enhance the experience. We can bring it to life. This is, and I always say this is my favorite feature. Oh, we didn't see it. Oh, well, I guess they're going to have to wait. But the cool thing is you can have Earth in relative size. So every planet that you have a button that has the Earth on it, and all of a sudden the Earth will show up next to that planet in its relative size. Mm-hmm. And I say this, if you've ever been around me, you hear me say this all the time. My favorite one is the sun, because the sun is so big. Even when you see it on the marker and it's living in three-dimensional space, it's huge. You have to really zoom in, and you hit that button for Earth. You can't even see it. The only way you can see it is because there's like a little ring, a little arrow that shows you it's there. You have to get so close to that marker, and when you finally see the Earth, the sun is like just barely curved because it's so giant. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we're really excited about that app coming out, and it'll be available pretty soon, hopefully within the next couple weeks.
Yeah, hopefully the next couple weeks on the App Store.
And get it in the App Store for for everyone to check out and in their classrooms. Because I mean, what better way to learn about the solar system? I was talking about that at goal setting conferences the other day. It's like, you know, we start to explore the solar system a little bit in 4th grade, and you do a little bit in 3rd grade. But I mean, everyone loves Bill Nye, and you know, you can read about it in the books, and you can look at pictures. But there's no other way to actually learn about the solar system than to actually have the solar system on your table,
on your desk. It's incredible. I mean, how cool is it? I saw, you know what, awesome. Drew and I have been together a while. We've been doing a lot of great things together. We've gone a lot of places. We've presented. We've met a lot of amazing educators, and you always hear us say this, educators are amazing. One of the coolest things I ever saw Drew do is we had a function, and somebody just was not buying augmented reality.
They were a hater.
They were a hater, a doubter, and it was, I saw Drew do his best work ever.
Haters are going to hate.
It was it was absolutely amazing. And another time in person, you can ask us a story. And he turned this doubter into a believer, and he was in our session the next day at Podstock. And the funny thing is if you actually saw his tweets, man, he actually was supporting it and blowing it out of the water, and it was absolutely amazing. So
okay, now one that we're going to show. I mean, I know a lot of people have already seen these. So why don't you hold that up, Brad? So some of you again will be getting the Element 4D cubes from DAQRI through the Kickstarter program. And I mean, we talk about this all the time. We've tried to get our hands on every ounce of augmented reality toys and triggers and things like that we can get our hands on.
Yeah. So Drew,
nobody makes better AR than DAQRI.
No.
It's not even.
It's right. He's so true. You know, we'll give a shout out to Brian and Gaia and all the amazing programmers and workers at DAQRI out in LA. They are absolutely phenomenal with what they do. And Drew and I are lucky enough to get a lot of this stuff from them. They've heard us talk. They know what we're doing. They like the passion, and they like that we believe in what we're doing.
But you know what? The one thing is that they believe in. They believe that, you know, 4D has a place, and augmented reality is important in education and things like that, and how it can transform learning and take learning to another level. So we're going to go ahead here and
now
try and show these to you.
Now, Drew, if someone wants to learn chemistry, you know, we have our books, we have our posters on the wall. What else can we do with that? Is that going to be engaging to the kids?
I don't know about you, but chemistry was not one of my favorite subjects. Learning about elements and things like that, looking at the periodic table, things like that. Not that much fun. So the app is Enchantium. It's not out yet. It will be out.
It will be out.
And this is not just for the element cubes. Let's make that clear, because this is a whole new dimension of play, as it says, and it really shows just how 4D can really change learning. So again.
Oh, you know what? Let's put it on something to distinguish.
So what you do is this is how it distinguishes it, because the app is for many different types of 4D play. It will load real quick, and then boom.
Now look at this. This cube. This is a solid wood cube. It's a block. And now, by using the Enchantium program, now it's clear. And I'm going to just show a little bit. If you notice, I'm going to tilt a little bit so Drew can get in here. We're looking at sodium. And what this has is on the side, and I've had a good friend of ours, Jessica Lapone. She's a great chemistry teacher here in Bloomfield Hills. She came over. I had these cubes, and my son, who had her in class, said, "You've got to bring Mrs. Lapone over. She'll love these things." So I called her up and said, "Hey, you got to come out and check these things out." And we went through and kind of explored with them. You get 30 milligrams. If it's a solid or whatever, you can see what 30 milligrams is. Let's see if we can. I'm going to put the sodium away a little bit.
I'll turn it a little bit here, so maybe that'll
open up the screen a little bit
here with the camera.
There's carbon. So we have carbon, we have sodium. So look at this. Now the thing is it's picked up this block, and now every side is reading from carbon. Even though it had a different etching on it when it started. So the cool thing is you can look at the physical structure right here, and you can see Drew's tapping on the screen and getting more information.
Exactly.
All right, so Drew, I'm going to pull this one off.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to leave sodium on there?
Yeah, we'll leave sodium on there so it picks back up. And then let's take a look. There's sodium. Let's see if we can get chloride on here. Chlorine. All right, so you see chlorine's a gas. It's actually a green gas, and that's what it looks like on the cube. So, Drew, I've got 2 elements here. Is that where my experience ends, or is there what else?
And that's one of the great things about 4D, which is different than 3D, where you go to a movie, you put glasses on, and it's just a flat image. You can't really touch it or anything. With 4D, you can actually have it in your hands and manipulate it, and that's where it's so powerful to where you can actually, with your hands, manipulate your learning and take the engagement and learning so much deeper. So you go ahead and take the wooden blocks, you touch them together, boom. And now we have table salt.
We have sodium chloride. It takes the compound right there. And can I still get information on it? What if I tapped it? Now you do. So, yep. It's kind of hard because we have the screen in the background. But the thing is working with chemistry teachers, actually Jessica got in touch with Daiquiri and been working together on this to talk about some things. And Drew, as soon as we were working on this, talk about the atomic update.
Oh, there are so many amazing updates that are coming. The atomic update that is coming to the element cubes, as a lot of you have probably seen if you checked out the Kickstarter campaign. Oops, picked up the wrong one there.
That's funny.
And then there are a lot of cool updates that make these a lot deeper learning for takes the deeper learning elements. So we're pretty excited about where it's going. There we go. Now we got gold.
There's gold.
Here. I'm going to put learning back in there again.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's actually kind of cool.
This is one of my favorite ones, really.
There it is, coming in. Oh.
We had it and we lost it.
There
we go. So again, you have the 2 next to each other.
Gold and chlorine.
It'd be cool if that was real gold.
That'd be really cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So then you just go ahead and touch them together. And there's gold chloride.
Gold chloride. Didn't even know it existed. Now I do, and I know that it's.
You can see, like right in this, the liquid is actually moving back and forth.
How awesome is that? I mean, so I'm now a 16-year-old kid who's in chemistry class, and now I've got a set of these. My teacher does. I've got some of these in my hands. Now I can really experiment and work with things. I can see the atomic mode. I can see the interaction. They're talking now about possibly getting chemical balances and doing some mathematical stuff with it, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, we're really excited about what they're doing, and it's not stopping there. That's the cool thing about
it's not stopping there.
They're excited about getting 4D into education. They want to hear from educators, and hopefully that they're developing more things for education in the future. So we're pretty excited about what Daiquiri is doing. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Great, amazing stuff. We have all kinds of stuff still, but what do we want to? I know we're hitting over the hour mark. What else do we want to show?
I think it's just important to try and talk about the power of it and how it's made learning in our classroom that much more engaging. It's made it more alive. It's more fun for the kids, Yeah. And when they are creating it, give them freedom. Let them do that. Let them augment posters in the classroom with explaining what it is, different things like that. Let them do book reviews where they can create this stuff on their own, especially for your higher kids in your classroom, those gifted kids. They can create that homework aura for you. I mean, if you really want them to, you can take a look at it. I mean, there's lots of things that you can do to make the learning that much deeper with augmented reality because it brings it to life. It's magical.
Absolutely, and you know what? We've had presentations. We're talking with high school teachers and stuff, and getting in discussions with them because we teach elementary, but we always try to look at the whole span for everybody, all the way from early education, all the way up through high school, all the way to the administrator and district level. Think about it. If you're a high school teacher, think about you can augment. Obviously, bulletin boards and stuff. But what about rubrics or assignments or things? But then think about this: put it on your students as part of an assignment where they need to augment things. We all have. Sometimes they have to present a report or something like that. You know what? You've got a kid. I've got my own son is. He loves speaking stuff, but he'd rather talk into a computer. And if 1 million people are watching, fine. But you know what? If I'm in front of 10,000 people, I'm thrilled. I'm on the stage. Drew and I talk about this. When we get in front of 10,000 people, we keep getting bigger and bigger audiences, and we love that. We had a discussion why Radius. We were with a bunch of friends, and we were watching the keynote, and we had a discussion who would be excited to run up on that stage. And Drew and I are like, we'd be ready in a heartbeat, go up on that stage and talk to people. But you know what? Not everybody's like us.
But the reason that we're like that is because we are excited and we're passionate about augmented reality and the kind of effects that we think it can have in education. And not only because we just think it's cool. Right. It's because we've seen it.
What it does.
We've seen it in education. We've seen it in our classroom, and that's That's the important thing.
Yeah.
There's one more thing I do want to show, and not many people have seen these, and that's what's so amazing about them, is these little paper cups. Okay?
I don't know if they can see it anymore.
Yeah, they can.
Can they see it
You
around?
hold it up there, and you just got little paper cups, right? So what these are is on each cup, the top of it is a trigger, or a trigger image. And this is from Daiquiri again. This is from Enchantium. And
oh, it's crazy.
it is pretty powerful. So we'll use Enchantium here before we had the element cubes up. So it comes up. Once it scans one trigger, I got to hit back. Sorry.
It's all right.
Amateur
Really. Yeah, exactly. Leave it to Drew to take us down a notch.
Yeah, right. So here we go. We'll start with 1. As you can see, the top of it starts to change color. All right. And now what I do when I bring another cup, just bring one more in.
Look at this. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Now we've got a laser beam going across. And you know, it's cool, laser beam, you know, whatever. But now
He just swiped his finger across it on the screen.
So it strums and it makes a noise, or you can talk about frequency waves.
Yeah, so
like
hit
that.
it, and I'm going to move it.
So now when you move them closer, it changes pitch, which is pretty cool. And now, what happens when I add a third one?
Oh my god, that's just absolutely insane.
So not only that, it's got the same sound, but now if I touch one of them, it will change the color of the laser beam. Okay? And just by touching the cup, it will change the color of the laser beam. Is that all it does, is just change the color though, Brad?
I don't know. Does it do anything else?
Nope. So when I touch it, it's a completely different sound.
So when it's a different color, it's basically like a different color, a different instrument.
So it allows you to create music.
You can see the frequency. Think about what you're seeing right now. We have 3 paper cups. That's it. They have tons on it. But now Drew is over here and making music. I don't know if to call it music. He's making. You are really. You know what? Drew's already put it on GarageBand. He's working on it and stuff like that.
Watch out.
No, but I know Michael Medvitsky. He's got a lot of cool ideas with the music and stuff like that. He's quite the music master and all that.
So these things are pretty cool, and again, this is just scratching the surface of some of the things that are going to be coming out with augmented reality. So Daiquiri's got their hands in a lot of amazing things when it comes to that. So they're creating a lot of cool stuff into the educational setting. And that's one of the things I think that we like most about augmented reality is it allows you to bring things into the classroom that before you couldn't physically bring into the classroom. Kind of like the planets. I can't bring the planets obviously into the classroom.
Right.
I can't bring there's certain elements I can't have. They're not obtainable.
Right. I mean that's just it. Like one of the things that Jessica Lapone said was, I love that they have mercury. I can't get a hold of mercury anymore. It's a controlled substance. You can't get it in the classrooms. But now you can kind of use it and see how it reacts, responds, what it looks like.
You can hold it in your hand.
You can hold it in your hand, which even if you had mercury, you really can't hold it in your hand. But one thing I was saying just a minute ago is, like when we're talking about having students create things, you got the kid in the back, if you're a high school teacher, kids in the front are going to be active and talk. Kids in the back, they really don't want to be noticed. You can do everything. You can change the classroom. You can walk back there, get them engaged. But here's the thing. You want to know that they understand something. If they can show you that they get the information. Now, should you penalize a kid because they're not comfortable coming up to class? That's your call. But what if you could get the same thing? What if they could create an aura by creating a video at home and then tying it? They could tie it to a trigger at school. Yeah. Could they accomplish the same thing? And without coming up, they could still create. They're learning technology. They're doing production, video, and stuff like that.
And it allows you to create those or share those videos wherever you want. You can share them worldwide because I know there's I'm part of this thing that Zoe. I want to say her last name Bettis. I hope I'm saying that.
Oh
right.
yeah, she's right here. She's right here. Zoe.
Yeah.
Zoe Bettis, right here.
She just put together this awesome group to where we're sharing our blogs through KidBlog, but we're also sharing our Erasmus channels. And what we're going to do with it is create this book club to where we're creating auras about certain books and sharing them with classes. I mean, there's class in Australia, there's class in Germany,
it's really
a couple in the United States, a ton of them in Canada. So we're really excited about that, adding the KidBlog portion to the augmented reality and then being able to share those videos and because it's cool that kids across the world are going to be able to see how our kids view that same book if they have that book with them, and that's pretty powerful stuff. That global learning for 9 and 10-year-olds.
Absolutely. Just an update on some things on Twitter right now. Shannon Miller, she just said, "Can you share the list of apps we spoke about tonight?"
Absolutely.
Yes, we will. We will put it up. Should we put it in the blog post?
I'll put it in the blog post. It'll be up. I'm probably not going to get it up tonight. So.
Nah, maybe not. He still has to drive like an hour away. I told him I'd go to his house, but he came here instead. And then we had what's the name of the planets app that had Jupiter? That's a good question, Drew.
That's a good question.
We don't know yet,
yeah,
but that's ours. It will be determined. Somebody just said, "Hey, where can I get those cups?" Where did you get these cups, Drew?
I got those from Daiquiri.
Who gave them to you?
Brian did.
Yeah,
Brian Mullins, the CEO, gave me that and these.
And I'll never forget the story Drew told me about this, because we had these little baby cubes, which we were thrilled to have.
Yeah, right.
I mean, thrilled to have these things, because not many people had them. And Brian apparently had these in his pocket, which was really funny, and he kind of, was messing with Drew and like, "How do you like those cubes?" He's like, "Oh, they're awesome. I love them." He's like, "Let me see them." He brought them out. He's like, "Oh, well, good thing I brought you these, and these are like 5 times the size. These are really, really awesome."
So you guys that contributed to the Kickstarter campaign, one, great, because you guys are ahead of it. You kind of got to see like what education could be like, and then you'll get your own set.
Craig says, "I thought they were going to show the Haagen-Dazs container." Actually,
Brad ate all the Haagen-Dazs, so it didn't work.
I did. Actually, I did have some ice cream. If you haven't seen the Haagen-Dazs, it's actually a very clever one. Have you seen it, Drew?
I have not seen it.
It's really cool. What it is apparently, according to Haagen-Dazs, this is what they tell you, Drew.
Okay.
Haagen-Dazs is best served if you give it time to warm up a little. So here's what they want you. I've never known. It's like a fine wine, apparently.
Okay.
They want you to. I read this. I think I actually saw it from Craig, or somebody sent to me at first. You open the lid, and they want you to wait like a minute and a half or something before you eat it. Let it get acclimated and soften. So here's the clever thing. So we'll just say this is the lid of your Haagen-Dazs. You pop it off. And then all of a sudden you use your device, and there's a musician playing like on the violin, like a concerto or something, and it's really cool. It's like you sit there and you watch her play, and you listen to great music. When she's done, you dive right in, which I thought that was pretty.
That's why we have no ice cream.
We have
Brad
no ice
dove
cream.
right in.
I dove right in. All right, let's see.
Yes, Craig. We are connecting with classes in Canada and Victoria also.
Canada.
Victoria
yeah, we have a lot of friends in
Canada.
A lot of friends in Canada. I hope our New Zealand friends are watching tonight. I don't know what the time is right now. It's probably early morning. It's probably early morning right now. It is late here. Zoe wants to know, can we get the cups?
I don't think you can get the cups right now, but I'm sure that they will be available eventually once Enchantium comes out.
Yeah, and if
there'll be a lot more things, that you'll be able to see once Enchantium starts coming out and things like that.
Yeah, she says they'd be great for a sound unit. We'd love to figure out a way if we can make that share. How do teachers get? Brant asked how to get hold of some of these triggers. We have some of the triggers. Like we have probably 50 triggers from Daiquiri we did not show tonight because we couldn't go 3. We could go for 3 hours, but we've already pushed the limit with the show tonight. But there are some amazing, amazing things. If you've seen our presentation in person, we've shown a lot of different ones. That's right. Yes, definitely gave a shout out to Media Center Specialists. They rock. They're doing amazing things. Keep it up. Sean Hinger over there. All right. So, Drew, I know we probably need to wind down.
Yeah, we got to wrap it up.
Couple things. Let's just end with the big picture, augmented reality, and then what's going on the next week, and then I want 3 songs from your playlist.
And the big thing about augmented reality is we believe it is the future of educational technology.
Yeah,
I mean, it changes
education.
It changes the way that kids learn. It creates that engagement level. It brings learning to life, and it doesn't get any more exciting.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
It is, for us, it is the future of education technology, and
think about it. And we say it's the future. Well, it's here now. I mean, we're living it.
Getting better.
We're doing it. We're living it right now. We're trying to make sure everybody gets the opportunity to live it out and share it as well. So what we're trying to do is push it around, get to everybody, and be as loud about it as we can because we see all the potential and what it actually does in your classroom.
Excellent. Next week. We're pretty excited about our awesome guest, aren't we?
Next week.
Next 2 weeks. We'll start with next week for
we have
the next 2 weeks.
we have quite a few weeks already scheduled out. We have some amazing people come on, but we'll share the next 2 weeks. I know she just texted. I think she's getting ready to leave.
So let's give a shout out
to Shannon Miller. Shannon Miller, nice to see you tonight. She will be joining us next week.
Yeah, pretty excited about that.
Very excited about this. I
don't know if Shannon's going to be. I'm going to the Bammies this Friday.
I think she's going to be there.
Excited about.
I think she's going to be there.
So I know there's going to be an opportunity for me to formally meet face-to-face with our guest the week after.
Yeah, because I met with Shannon briefly at ISTE when I was talking with Scott from EdReach.
Yeah.
So Drew's going out to the Bammies next week with Aaron Klein in a big group.
And Ashley.
And Ashley. Sorry, I cannot make it. I have other commitments. But the nice thing is we have 2 guys here, so he can take care of that. So he's going to go out there and represent the 2 guys at the Bammy Awards, which is awesome. We'll be there to support Aaron Klein and a bunch of our other friends as well. And then
that is where I get to meet the guest we'll have on in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. And who is our guest in 2 weeks?
That will be the wonderful You Matter. Angela Myers will be joining us in 2 weeks, and we're really excited about having her on the show.
Absolutely. So we have some amazing guests coming up in the next few weeks. We have Shannon Miller next week. We have Angela Myers in 2 weeks, and we have Walter Duncan in 3 weeks. So all doing amazing things. We're going to have some great shows with some great guests coming up. Let's see. I thought there was something else I don't want to forget. Let's see.
That sounds good.
And I forgot, but that's okay. So if you'd like to connect with the 2 guys, how can they follow us? How can they reach you, Drew? Let's start with you.
I'm at Techmanock on Twitter.
And what's our Facebook page? You handle that?
Our Facebook page is just Facebook, and then our page is 2 Guys and Some iPads. So head on over there, give us a like, which would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Or on Scoop It, or
all the 10 other ones.
Pinterest, and all those.
And then you can find information about us at the 2guyssomeIPads.com. That's our blog. Always use the hashtag 2GuysShow. Number two. If you'd like to connect with us, do some work with us, we can be reached through Twitter or email. We do professional development. We do Keynote. We go and we work and inspire staff to do amazing things with educational technology. So if you're interested in having us come over and join you wherever you are in the world, we're happy to make the trip. Please contact us. And we love working with people all over.
Excellent.
Anything else?
Obviously with EdReach, we're so happy to be part of EdReach. So you can download our show, our podcast on iTunes, on Stitcher as well. So definitely check it out there. You can follow EdReach on Twitter at edreach.us. Or just not .us, but EdReach.us.
Right.
And their website is edreach.us, and you can check out our channel
US,
there as
us,
well.
Whatever. He says us. I say US. That's all right.
It's easier.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thank you for joining. Please, if you have questions, hit us up on Twitter. Check out our post after the show. It'll probably be up tomorrow. All the apps that we talked about are already on our blog, but we'll make a quick list that we talked about tonight in our post after the show. And then feel free to contact us with any questions or any engagements that you'd like to work on together. And as always, stay connected, everybody, and we will see you guys next week. Drew, have a great week at the Bammies.
Yeah, thank you. All right, we'll see you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
We'll see you.